Let's go. Not only did I win locals with Earth Machine, I beat TEARLAMENT, and I did it all without Regulus. Out walking the dog, like I was in the ban list video. It's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Tomorrow is when I'm going to be going to locals. Last time I went on Thursday to go to Bay City. This time, due to money constraints and not getting paid till Thursday, we're going to go to Frankenmuth. I think I mentioned this before. Frankenmuth is a little bit more casual of a scene. So my original plan was to play Pendulum. Investment! Let's go! There's going to be a Pendulum Magician list that splashed a very small Zephyra package. We may save that for another video. Instead, I'm going to be playing Earth Machine minus Regulus. I posted some of my cards that I don't need on Facebook Marketplace in hopes that I can maybe trade up to a Regulus at some point. If I do find that I can trade up to it, we may revisit Earth Machine later, full power. I also am very interested in maybe playing ABC at some point. I went to Galaxy Buster, TCG, shouts out to those guys, and was able to play against one of the owners playing Theory and ABC, and that was a very cool deck to play against. But for now, I'm going to take Earth Machine. It's kind of an old list that I put together quite a while ago, so it's probably pretty outdated in terms of current format. But as I said, Frankenmuth is a pretty casual scene, so I'm not anticipating that I'll need anything too competitive to do decently well. Through testing, Earth Machine seems to be pretty consistent. There are some pretty terrible brick hands, but usually brick hands also include a lot of hand traps, so at the very least I end on unknown interruptions from the hand, and hopefully that gives me enough gas to keep going to future turns where I can actually combo off. This will be my first time playing Earth Machine, so we'll see how well I do, how well I know the combos, and how well I know how to adapt those combos given certain interruptions. I'm not anticipating that very many of the rounds are going to be difficult, but we'll have to see how it goes. This will be episode 2 of Decksploration, taking Earth Machine to locals. I can't go to the stadium in Bay City, so I'll be going to the stadium in Frankenmuth, which is a much more casual group of people. But it's going to be fun for me personally because Frankenmuth is the local where I went to for my very first tournament ever. So this is going to be the inaugural episode of returning to my original locals for a video. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. Starting off the deck profile, we have 3 copies of Infinitrack Harvester. This is one of the 2 normal summons in the deck. Technically, there's 3, but one of them is really only there to facilitate certain plays. This card searches an Infinitrack. The Infinitrack that it searches for is Brutal Dozer. I'll get to why in a second. Just to kind of give an idea of what that pseudo third normal summon is, we have Infinitrack Anchor Drill. This one works as a bit of a Marauding Captain, in the sense that when it's normal or special summoned, you can summon Earth Machine from your hand. It's there to facilitate certain plays. The reason why it facilitates certain plays is because it, along with Harvester, have a second effect. You can target one other machine you control, and both it and the target's levels become the two monsters' combined levels until the end of the turn. So, in tandem with the level 5 Infinitrax, the Anchor Drill gives you access to rank 9s. The Harvester, the second effect to target another monster and become the combined level, doesn't really come up for very many monsters in the extra deck. The only way that it would come up is if you were to target a Fortress to basically do the exact same play that I was talking about to summon a rank 9. You play a couple different rank 9s, which we will get to. But this right here is probably the best normal summon in the deck. It just straight up gets you access to Brutal Dozer. There's another normal summon in the deck, which we will get to. But this one not only gives you access to Brutal Dozer, but it also gives you access to Goliath through linking it away. Next up, as I've been mentioning, we have Infinitrack Brutal Dozer. Now, Brutal Dozer has two effects. The first effect is that you can tribute an Earth Machine you control to special summon it from your hand. The second effect, which combos with the first effect, is that when it's special summoned, you can summon an Infinitrack from your deck. My version of the combo typically summons a Tunneler from the deck, but you could theoretically summon any Infinitrack. The fives that you can summon off of it allow you to go into the rank 5 for the archetype, which we will get to once we get to the extra deck. First of the possible summon from deck targets is Infinitrack Trencher. It shares the same first effect as Brutal Dozer, where you can tribute an Earth Machine you control to summon it from the hand. Its second effect lets you banish itself. You can target a level 5 or lower Infinitrack in the grave and then special summon it from the graveyard. This effect allows you to continue to ladder up into the different link monsters in the deck. Yeah, for the most part, depending on how your hand composition is, you may not even need to search this or activate it over the course of your combo, but it has the most useful effect in the grave, and it's probably by far the least bad to draw in your opening hand, so you played it too. And then the one of Infinitrack Tunneler. This is the one that I typically summon off of Brutal Dozer. The first effect is the same as the other level 5 Infinitracks, tribute an Earth Machine to summon it from the hand, but its second effect allows you to banish it and target 5 machines in your grave, shuffle them back into the deck, and then draw 2 cards. For a lot of people, this deck is seen exclusively as Draw 2 Turbo. It does have things it can do outside of that, but this effect to draw 2 means that you have an insane amount of card advantage. So many of the cards in this deck add, so many of the cards plus you. This card is the big reason why the deck plays so many hand traps. Basically, the idea is to try and draw into as many hand traps as possible off of this effect. And because of the avarice aspect to this effect, it also allows you to basically completely reset your extra deck after the combo. So you get access to all 3 Goliath again, you get access to any number of things that you activated, like the rank 5. This card's insane. Next up is the second normal summon of the deck. This card is Machina Metal Cruncher. If you control no monsters, normal summon this card without tributing, but its attack becomes 1800, which is extremely not relevant. The fact that this is a level 9 doesn't really come up either. But what does come up is the fact that you can reveal 3 machines from your deck, and then your opponent randomly gives you one of them. Typically, what you do is you just reveal 3 copies of Brutal Dozer so that you get guaranteed access. In that way, it's functionally identical to Infinitrack Harvester, except that you can't use it for material of Goliath. Next up are the other 2 Machinas that you play in the deck. You have Machina Citadel, which is one of the main deck boss monsters in the deck, and also a level 10 Earth Machine, which is synergistic with the rank 10 engine that you play in this deck. The other one is Machina Fortress, which is a body and also gives you rank 9 access with Harvester. But for the most part, it's a discard outlet and an extra body. And these cards are just completely unbelievable. This card, on top of being level 10 and being able to revive itself from the grave if a machine you control is destroyed, this card also functions as a quick effect Raigeki, where you can destroy a machine you control, which can be itself, and then destroy all monsters your opponent controls with attack less than the monster destroyed. Fortress's second effect doesn't really come up for me ever. Over the course of the tournament, it might, but for now, it's just there's discard outlet and a free body. Next up is the other parts of the rank 10 engine. This is Heavy Freight Train Derricrane. As far as this deck is concerned, this card just, acts as kind of a rank 10 Kagamucha Knight. When a level 10 Earth Machine is normal or special summoned, it special summons itself from the hand. Typically, what you're doing is you're using Super Express Bullet Train to trigger that effect. Super Express Bullet Train has two relevant effects. The first is that if all monsters you control are Earth Machines, it special summons itself from the hand for free. And the second effect is that if it was sent to the graveyard that turn, you can add an Earth Machine from your graveyard back to your hand. So it functions as an extender and as a way to add follow up back to your hand at the end of the turn. Next up is the box, Ancient Gear box. When this card is added from your deck to your hand, you can add a monster with 500 attack or 500 defense. I believe it's specifically an Earth Machine monster with 500 attack or 500 defense from your deck to your hand. The only three targets that this deck plays are Tunneler, Trencher, and Anchor Drill. Typically what you're doing is if you already have access to Trencher to get that extra body, you're searching Anchor Drill as follow-up, because Anchor Drill plus any level 5 becomes a rank 9, and you play some extremely powerful rank 9s in the extra. Tunneler never comes up because you're summoning it off of Brutal Dozer, and once its effect is activated, you can't really activate it again. There are some cheeky plays you can do where if you draw the box, you could use the effect of Super Express Bullet Train to add the box from your graveyard to your hand, using it as like a discard outlet over the course of your combo. And that will also trigger the box. Being added from graveyard to hand also triggers it. That's it for the machine monsters. Let's get into the hand trap lineup. First up, we play 3 Ash. This card is just the most generically powerful hand trap in the game right now. And since the local I'll be going to is going to be pretty casual and probably playing a lot of rogue decks at best, I think that Ash just hits so many of them. Just a singular Ash on a good play can sometimes just completely shut down a deck. Next, I'm going to be playing main decking 3 Nibiru. Again, I don't expect to play a lot of meta. In fact, I don't expect to play any meta at all. So Nibiru hits a lot of rogue decks, and because it's not as prevalent in the meta right now, I think a lot of people aren't respecting it. So I expect to catch a lot of people off guard, especially playing it in the main deck. And last up is 3 Infinite Impermanence. What makes Imperm so good, especially in this deck, is that drawing it in multiples is entirely okay. You can set it, and it gives way to bluff which card in your back row is relevant at any given moment, because you do play another trap card that you want to set. So having this plus the trap means that your opponent has to pick one or the other if they have singular targeted removal. And removing this instead of the other trap can sometimes just spell the end of the game, especially in scenarios where removal might be something like a cosmic, because I don't mind if this gets banished, but if my other trap gets banished, I'm going to be pretty upset. And targeted negation, especially targeted negation that isn't a monster effect, is extremely powerful. A lot of people think that if they're able to put up a monster negate over the course of their combo, that they're safe. It's the exact same scenario I was in back when Azathoth was a thing. I played against somebody that had Azathoth combo in their Lunalite deck, and they thought that they were safe because they had insulated themselves against monster effects. But I drew one of my imperms over the course of the combo, and I was able to shut down his entire turn because he played into imperm in a way that he didn't really need to, because he didn't think that I would have it, and that he thought that my interaction would be monsters like Nibiru, Ash, Valor, any of those types of things. So the imperm really just punished him hard. And I find that in the meta right now, I think people are going to try to put up things that negate monster effects and just not respect the imperm. I considered playing something like DD Crow, but since I don't expect to see a lot of meta, I don't think that's going to be as relevant, and I think these are just more generically powerful. First up for the spells is Heavy Forward. I picked these up in German back when I was picking up this deck. I thought it would be cool because I like owning foreign copies, but as I was trying to learn the deck, I kept having to look up what this card did as I was doing test hands. Thankfully, I know what it does now. It has two effects. One of them has two modes. The first effect is that when it's activated, you can add an Infinitrack from your deck to your hand. Basically, this functions as copies 4, 5, and 6 of Harvester, or this can work as a copy of Trencher if you need it over the course of your combo. The second effect is that you can once per turn, soft once per turn, target a machine Xyz that you control and attach this to it as material. That can come up in certain scenarios. There are monsters in the extra deck that value having more things attached to them, so this effect becomes extremely powerful in those scenarios. Next up for the spells is Machina Redeployment. This is the reason why you play the Metal Cruncher. This functions as copies 4, 5, and 6 of Machina Metal Cruncher, which is functionally the same as Harvester in most scenarios. If you draw a Machina monster that you can pitch off of this, it goes from being a pitch one to add 2 Machina monsters to a pitch a Machina monster to add 2 Machina cards. And the trap that we play is a Machina card, which means in scenarios where I draw the Metal Cruncher, or I draw the Fortress, or I draw the Citadel, this gets me guaranteed access to the trap, which is extremely powerful. Because the trap can help trigger your Citadel Engrave, or it can give you access to the Citadel, but we'll get to that in a minute. Next up, probably the most suspect include is 2 copies of Urgent Schedule. This card is kind of a relic of when this deck was a going second deck. This version of the deck goes first. This card is still an extremely powerful include. If you do end up going second and you draw into this card can be an absolutely huge blowout against your opponent. And this card can also be good later in the game if you need it to, summon some monsters from deck and accrue a bunch of advantage. I would maybe consider cutting this if I had other more powerful things that I could put in place, but as it stands, running 2 of this is just, I think, standard. The only power spell that isn't specifically an engine card is 1 copy of Called by the Grave. This deck does fold pretty hard to certain hand traps, so I think having a copy of Called by the Grave, which can either be insulation against hand traps or an interruption, I think this card is just. I mean, I don't really need to explain this card. This card should probably be banned. And then last up, the trap that I've been alluding to the whole time, Machina Overdrive. This card has two effects. You can destroy a machine you control to summon a Machina machine from your deck. It gives you easy access to the Citadel. The second effect is that you can banish it from the graveyard and shuffle any three machines that are either banished or in your graveyard into the deck. And is it draw one or is it draw two? It's draw one. But this allows you to basically reset a lot of the pieces of the combo that get used up over the course of your first turn. You could shuffle back in the Tunneler, which allows you to get the draw two again and allows you to get all of your extra deck stuff back in. Basically, this represents like 8 shufflebacks over the course of using it, and I literally just said the name and I've already forgot it. Tunneler. So this card's extremely powerful. Moving on to the extra deck. 3 Goliath. This card's crazy. It basically just serves as a link 1 for the archetype, allowing any Infinitrack to just get sent immediately to the graveyard. This also can be tributed by some of the Xyz in order to bring them back. And when it's sent to the graveyard, it can attach itself to an Xyz, so it allows you to take a spent Xyz monster in the graveyard and convert it into an Xyz on field with a material that can activate its effect. You use all 3 over the course of the combo, and then you shuffle them back in with Tunneler, but basically you just use it kind of as shuffle back fodder for the most part, because over the course of the combo, at least the way I do the combo, you don't shuffle back any main deck monsters unless you kind of drew a scuffed hand. Next up is the Ancient Gear link. Again, foreign copy, so I can't read what it says exactly, but basically when it's link summoned, it allows you to add an Ancient Gear monster from your deck to your hand. It adds box, and then box adds one of the monsters I mentioned earlier. There are, I think, scenarios where you could very easily not play this card or even not summon it over the course of the combo. I do think that it's a little bit unnecessary in the grand scheme of things. The extra material that you end up needing to make it is usually made just so you can get a monster that represents more material in terms of like link material. So that material that you spent making this could have been spent making, the Anger Knuckle. But I still play it because I think that it's still worthwhile as a means to kind of, accrue more card advantage, because this deck is built on having as much card advantage as you can. So adding the box and then adding another monster basically means that this card represents a +2 in most scenarios. Next up is Double-Headed Anger Knuckle. This card is unbelievable. It has 3 effects. The first effect is just a condition that says it can't be used as link material. The second is that you can, quick effect, send a monster from your hand or field to the graveyard and target a level 10 machine in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position, but its effects are negated. And then, if this card is in the graveyard, you can send 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard and special summon it. So basically, it represents a reborn of a level 10, and it also represents a reborn of itself, and all it needs is a discard or a send from field. And in a lot of cases, this card can be used to bring back your Citadel without having to wait for it to be triggered using its own effect, meaning that, it can represent a ton of advantage, and it can be used to bring back the bullet train and then send it again in order to trigger the effect to add from grave again. So this card's unbelievable. Basically the backbone of the deck. Now, next up is Clifford Genius. Honestly, this card is just an Earth Machine Link 2. It has an effect where you can target a monster, you target a card you control and target a card your opponent controls, and both of them are negated. But I mean, I've yet to have this come up. It can be used to out problematic cards, like if you have a card that's causing you problems, you can use it to get rid of the effect. But for the most part, it's just kind of there to, I don't know, have in case it ever comes up. The extra deck honestly is not very tight. Speaking of not being very tight, play a Barricade Board Blocker. This is a generic Link 2 machine. I play a couple things in the side deck where I would like to be able to have a generic Link 2 that can also be used for combo potential. It's also a discard outlet. The fact that it's dark is kind of, I don't know, not the best, but I'm not expecting to get a generic Link 2 Earth Machine. I mean, that honestly, that would just be too much. What I can expect is a generic Link 3 machine. This card has no effect. It is explicitly here as a means to basically out certain things that couldn't otherwise be outed. I mentioned that there are things where I can steal my opponent's monsters and I want access to be able to link them away even if they're not machines. This is basically the same thing. Peeps Yu-Gi-Oh! When he was working on the Earth Machine deck, touted this as an out to Contact C. I believe that's the one that summons itself to your field, and you can't summon until you get rid of it. This card does do that. That's also why I play the Barricade Board Blocker, just in case something like that comes up. If my opponent summons something to my field that I need to get rid of that isn't a machine, this and the Barricade Board basically give me access to getting rid of it. Next up, let's go ahead and get started with the Xyz. First up is the rank 5. This card has a few effects. When it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it can attach that monster to it as Xyz material. The second effect that's a little bit more relevant is that you can detach an Xyz material and then add a machine from your deck to your hand. This card allows you to add the Express Bullet Train over the course of your combo, which represents one of the bodies that you summon over the course of your combo. And because it's an Express Bullet Train, it allows you to add back a monster from your graveyard, typically the Harvester. It also can tribute a link machine that you control to summon itself back. And the fact that it doesn't specify Earth means that you can technically tribute the Barricade Board Blocker to summon it back. And that can be relevant in scenarios where the Barricade Board is just kind of clogging up your field and you don't really have anything to do with it. You can summon this thing back, go into the Goliath, and maybe get some Infinitrack plays going. But for the most part, this card's extremely powerful just for the search effect alone. Now, this is one of the rank 9s that I was mentioning that is just extremely powerful in this deck. This one is specific to the Infinitracks. It has the same effects as River Stormer. If it destroys a monster by battle, it attaches it to it, and you can tribute a link machine you control to summon it back. But the middle effect that this one has is that you can detach any number of materials to destroy that many cards your opponent controls. Now, cards like Goliath, cards like Heavy Forward, they allow for this card to basically pop anywhere from 1 to 4 cards in a single go, depending on how you stack the chain of events. This card is crazy, and I believe the destruction... Oh, it does target. The destruction does target, but the fact that you can pop, anywhere from 1 to 3 to 4 cards is just insane. Basically, being able to pop not only monsters but spells and traps as well. So it's very versatile in that way, and having access to rank 9s means that you absolutely should run it. Then you also have the other rank 9, Phantom Fortress Enter Blathnir. This one is not quite as powerful as Earth Slicer in terms of just how much it can do, but it's very versatile in the sense that it can be spot removal, but it can also be a rip from hand. So this card represents a lot more than just, breaking a board. This can also represent, taking things away from your opponent. Even if it is a random hand rip, that's still an extremely powerful effect to be able to get off. I don't think there are very many scenarios where that's going to come up, but if it does come up, then I mean, you're glad that you have this in the extra. Next up is the rank 10 Earth Machine package. First up is Gustav Max, the Lost Art one, because it looks cool and I got it for free. This one, you stack 2 Earth Machines, you detach one of them, you burn for 2k. I mean, pretty standard. This one, you stack 2 Earth Machines, and then you can detach and target either itself or another monster you control, and whatever you target becomes unaffected by, I believe, everything. Is it just... Yep, it's unaffected by every card effect except its own. So this can sometimes be a very good turn 1 play if you have access to it. Anger Knuckle plus this can be difficult for a lot of decks to get around, but typically either of these are just going to be, ranked up into the OTK machine. Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Lieb. This card can be Exceed summoned using any rank 10 Earth machine you control. Once per turn, you can detach a material. This card gains 2,000 attack, but no other monsters you control can attack. And separate effect from that, this card can attack monsters your opponent controls up to the number of materials it has, +1. So, stacking 2, stack the 10, stack this, that's 4 attacks. And, I mean, it's just such a powerful beast. Going up to 6,000 attack and being able to attack 4 times is just unbelievable. This thing just completely decimates people. And then the last card, probably the most powerful machine Xyz in the game, Divine Arsenal, AA Zeus, Sky Thunder. This card needs no introduction. I mean, you can Xyz summon it using any Xyz monster if an Xyz monster has battled that turn. And quick effect, not once per turn, not once per chain, not once per anything. Detach 2 materials, send all cards on the field to the grave. This card is a board-breaking machine, and it is an extremely powerful interruption, and it is able to be made turn 1, hard made. If you open Harvester and any level 10, be it the Derricrane or the Express Bullet Train, you can Harvester, target the Bullet Train, make both a level 12, and overlay into Zeus. Hard overlay. Now, it's far more powerful if you're able to make it with more than just 2 material. So this isn't a play that I would necessarily recommend, but it is a play that you can do, and it is a play that is extremely funny. So that's it for the main deck and the extra deck. Let's go ahead and do the side deck real quickly. This is mostly just kind of slapped together in an attempt to try and cover my bases. Back row removal because I don't like Mystic Mine. Speaking of, we're playing Mystic Mine because it's a good card, and card advantage is the name of the game, and if I get the ability to draw more cards and have a chance to come back, then I'm going to do it. Mismatched, evenly matched. This card's also insane, and because of the prevalence of certain engines that summon tokens, this card can turn into an insane board wipe. 3 Dark Ruler no more. If I do happen to run into meta, this card's just completely unbelievable. Now we're getting into the cards that I think require a little bit more explaining. So I'll go ahead and get these out of the way. First of all, we're playing the one Harpy's Feather Duster. I bought a secret before it came off the ban list because people were talking about it might. So yeah, let's go ahead and get a good. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff right there. All right, well now that I'm done doing that, so I play Change of Heart and Mind Control. I considered playing Brain Control over Harpy's Feather Duster. Both of these cards are basically the reason why I play the generic links in the extra. I can't, and I just really want to play Change of Heart. I've yet to have an opportunity to actually use Change of Heart for real. I played it in Virtual World when I took it to Frankenmuth like 6 weeks ago or something like that. But I didn't ever actually side it in. I mostly just wanted it there because I wanted to be able to play with it. But now I actually have a good reason to play with it because the generic links make it removal. Same with Mind Control. Basically, Mind Control functions as a second copy of Change of Heart, except Change of Heart allows the monster to attack. Um, I'm really hoping that I actually get to use these and that they don't just kind of take up space in the side deck. But that's it for the profile. All right. I think I'm going to bury the lead a little bit when it comes to the titling of this video because I want to clickbait it, but I'm going to record this segment as if the later rounds aren't a foregone conclusion. So, round one, we get the spiritual buy. I get paired up against the same guy I played against the last time I went to Frankenmuth. I might have mentioned this in the previous episode. He was the one that was playing the Flip Monster Charmers. I gave him a few cards to try and get his collection kind of going a little better. Some generic pendulums, a couple generic links that I had in my TCG player cell binder. Stuff that was only worth like a couple cents. But he was playing a much better deck this time than he was last time. Game one, I think I won the die roll and I go first. I end on the normal board of Anger Knuckle and a couple set cards and some hand traps in hand. He, does his turn, but doesn't really have anything to do. He normal summons a level 4 vanilla zombie that's super old. Can't really do anything. He passes back to me and I leave OTK him. So we go to game two. I figure it's probably best to let him go first. Just kind of try to leave OTK him or just, OTK him just through normally playing the game. And I decide that, I'm going to let him go first. And he sets one back row, sets a monster. Or no, he sets two back row, sets a monster, and passes. So I go off on my normal combos. I mean, he chains summon limit. I was not expecting that in the slightest. If I had known he played floodgates, I would have sided in some back row hate. But it ended up not mattering. Because over the course of a couple turns, I was able to play on his turn to a certain extent. I was able to, I went battle phase, and come to find out his set monster was Spirit Reaper. So on the end phase of his turn, I Anger Knuckle. No, on the end phase of his turn, a couple turns later, I Anger Knuckle to bring back super speedy bullet train or whatever it's called, and I chain the Dare Crane I have in my hand. And then on my turn, I overlay into Gustav, burn him for 2k for my first summon, and then for my second summon I make Leap. And I think over the course of it I had gotten access to Citadel at some point off of I believe I got it off of the trap, and so I was able to out his Spirit Reaper using Citadel, and then leave OTKM. Game 2, I played against. Actually, game 2 I have footage, so probably cut here and put the footage in.
All right, Yu-Gi-Oh!
We got big deck
Welcome to
energy.
your round 2. You have 40
I can
minutes on
do
the
that.
clock, and you may begin.
Oh, you do that too.
I saw the other guy do it, so I'm like,
Yeah, let's do that.
5.
5.
4. Lower than 5.
Lower
Did
than
you want to cut?
Yeah. I'm gonna go second.
Going
Do you have dice?
second. Oh boy.
No,
can we borrow one of your dice?
or both.
Or both?
Pick your poison, whatever tickles your fancy.
Oh,
I tickle my own fancy. Thank you very much.
Oh my.
Ooh.
You said I'm going first.
Yeah.
Nifty little nifty.
7.
Scan my man.
5, that is lower than 7. First or second?
I'll
Pitching this
go
circle.
second.
All right.
Go for the right.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me
Right.
get
We
this
going
on
back
here.
in. Right. Create token.
Okay.
Okay.
Puts Faithful Adventure from the
Show
deck.
the camera.
Good.
Yep.
All right. This hand could be better, could be worse. Let's
Where are
do
my cards?
heavy forward. It is in German, so I'll try to read it. I can add an infinite track.
Okay.
Faithful effect to search.
So we're gonna add Harvester. This one's in English.
Okay.
Griffin. And then I gotta pitch one. We'll pitch
We
this.
will- It's continuous, so it stays on the
Special.
field.
Effect
Let's
of
do
Faithful.
normal summon.
So quick
In fact, I can add an infinite track monster.
Making sure.
So we're gonna
I'd let you know if I had
Bulldozer.
anything.
Okay.
We will go ahead and
Think about it.
bring him away for
Set. One.
Goliath.
Activate first open.
Brutal Dozer. I can tribute an Earth Machine to summon it from my hand.
Okay.
Search good.
Yep.
Okay.
When it's summoned, I can summon an infinite track from my deck.
What is this?
Okay.
This.
There was no payment at all.
Huh? No life points? No.
No. Okay.
No life points so far. I don't think I ever will be paying life points, but alright, so we summoned him. So we're going to overlay
Set
these
one,
two.
and I believe we're gonna pass.
Pass.
for
Main phase. Draw.
Riverstorm. I can detach a material to add an Earth Machine from my deck. to my hand.
Discard Necro World to special Jacko Bolin. Sure. Or banish Necro World for effect.
Banishes at cost.
To add one
Super Express
zombie
Poetry
world straight from deck to
with the
play.
green text.
We'll Griffin that.
So negate.
So we're going to
That's unfortunate.
link him off for second Goliath. I'm going to summon him because all
What are the
monsters I
token
control are
attributes?
Earth
It's
Machine.
Earth Fairy 2000 2000.
Link
Okay.
these two
Did you want to cut this?
for Italian Ancient
That
Gear Link.
blows.
So when he's link summoned, I can add an Ancient
Oh,
Gear
Ancient
monster.
Gear Ballista. I know that card. It's a mean card.
Add the box. Effect of the box when it's
This
added.
Un-
When it's
set.
added from the deck to the hand, I can
Pass.
add
Okay.
a Earth Machine with 500 attack and/or defense. I'm gonna add Trencher.
That's unfortunate too.
So we're gonna do Trencher's effect. Same as
First
Brutal
one,
Dozer. I can
effect.
tribute an
Yep.
Earth Machine to summon it from hand. So I'm gonna tribute him to summon it. We're going
Is
to
this
link
your
him
token?
off
Yep.
for the third Goliath. We're gonna activate him, banishing him from the grave to summon back the Brutal Dozer.
Old boy affecting him.
We're gonna link these two.
To
Anger
send
Knuckle.
that to grave.
We're going to Use
Full
Tunneler's
effect and
effect. I can banish it from the
Sending
grave.
this.
Target
And
5
Okay.
Earth
Good.
Machines. Shuffle them back
Come
into the
with
deck and
35
draw
with
2.
destruction protection. Could I use one of your dice?
Yeah, go ahead. Big boy can take the
Big blue.
ulti, or the chase, I should say.
Those were terrible.
Oh,
Don't
that
you
is
hate
Dark
those?
Magician Barrel.
Yeah, so we're gonna do.
Since I control an adventure token, I'm
Can I
going to
redeploy
special water chips.
Fortress.
Switch that to attack
Citadel.
mode. Faithful Adventure. No Faithful Adventure. I should have waited. That's okay. Dracoback. Effect announce.
We're gonna summon Fortress by pitching the Citadel.
Hand. Okay, yep.
We're gonna use the Anger Knuckle,
Battle phase.
pitching Gearbox to summon back
Attack
the
for
Citadel.
35.
Because you declared an attack, special summon Vampire Fraulein.
Okay. So it triggers replay, correct?
Yep.
And we will
How much
set
defense
1,
2000.
set 2,
Yeah, we'll check over it.
and
With the gold.
Yes. Okay.
go to end phase. Activate the effect of Bullet Train to add a machine from my grave to my hand.
So how much? Okay.
He's at 35.
35.
Yep.
Damn. All right.
And then we'll
Back row.
attack for 15.
Come on, fingers work.
2K.
All right.
Super poly.
I have you at 45.
Yep.
Also, no, that's fine.
Discarding
End
that.
phase.
Okay.
I forgot to trigger that.
What are you using?
Oh my goodness.
Those two.
It's just no good. I can't. Ugh.
That.
There might be a way I can pull this out of my butt. We'll see.
I don't want you pulling anything out of your butt.
Oh my.
Can we put something in the box?
Special.
That's fine. Banish for cost.
Normal blow up bloom.
Sure.
5, 6, 7.
Discard Doom King to activate Super Poly, targeting my glow up bloom and your outlet.
Ew.
Reveal. Thunderbird. Which
To
doesn't
get,
really help because
Dragon Necro Nether Soul
if you
Dragon.
do pick it, you have no set card.
Send.
Yeah, that's the downside
because
of
he was
using the
sent,
Lightning Storm. Huh?
Banish.
Yeah.
Alright, American
For level
Sniper, let's
5
go.
or higher.
Yep.
I want to make sure that is not the place where I want that
And I
card.
draw a card.
Yeah, but
Desires.
Alright, Banish for cost.
Oh, you have an ash, don't you?
That's usually what Banish for
2,
cost
3,
means.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
whoa.
Ash Blossom.
Crazy!
I know.
It's almost like we play Yu-Gi-Oh these days.
Right? To add Jackal Bolin.
Jack Hole Bolin.
The water stats across the board.
15, 2000, 2000. I'm at 64, you're at 45.
Yep. Upcut.
And a partridge in a friggin' pear tree.
Discard Doom King to special summon Jackal Bolin.
Yeah.
Battle phase?
Still in main phase. I'm going to use the double headed finger knuckle, pitching Ash. To target the Citadel to summon it back.
Okay.
Let me see, hold on.
So monsters cannot be destroyed by battle by him. Okay. But you still take the damage. So
Go ahead.
Okay.
swing
Actually-
for 3,000.
So this has 3,000?
Correct.
Alright, so I take 1,000.
Yep. It's not destroyed. However, his secondary effect, at the end of the damage
Second.
step, if this card battled a monster that has an original level,
This can't be
that
targeted.
monster's attack becomes 0.
The card effect.
Also, if that monster is still face up on the field, special summon 1 Dark Soul token, zombie, dark, level attack, defense 0.
Okay.
When summoned, its level of attack becomes equal to the original level and
So its
attack, of
attack
that
is
monster.
currently
Sure.
0.
So, there's that.
Until
And
I detach.
face up,
Yep.
attack. So it was 2,000, 2,000. And what was the level on that?
It was a level 4, I believe. Double check. Level 4, yeah.
4. All right. I'm then going to swing
Alright, so
for
on summon,
Yep.
we're going to use Citadel's
How much
effect,
target?
targeting
2,000.
itself.
500. Yep, you take 500.
Um, It destroys the monster and all other monsters on the field with attack equal to
Main
or less
phase
than
2.
it.
Sure.
So destroy those two. That
2
one
minutes. I don't have
would
anything
live.
here.
Is that okay?
Right. End phase.
Yep, on your end phase, golden land effect.
Okay.
Set a elixir spell or trap.
Okay.
Right here.
Yeah.
All phase, so I'll just attack for over
So now his attack
1500.
becomes
Yep.
a 0, correct?
Correct.
Here we go.
Alrighty. Turn.
I like this sleeve color.
Thank you.
Wow.
It's like, I think it's lagoon.
Too little, too late there, buddy.
Drop a turn.
Yep.
Stand by main.
On entry of main phase, I activate Jackal Bone's effect,
Oh,
banishing
by the way,
for until end
his
phase
effect,
to
I get to draw.
That's
Thinking,
fine.
does it banish for cost? That's a good question.
Let's see.
I always have to remember that.
So during your opponent's main phase,
Alright, let's do
target one zombie monster.
normal summon effect.
Cost.
Yeah.
Then banish it. So you
target Doom.
target that first. Okay. So targeting is the cost.
Yep.
We're going to go chain link.
So we're gonna
Chain
do
link 1.
Brutal
chain link
Dozer's
6.
effect. Trigger
Okay.
the Harvester.
So this is going to special
Summon
summon
itself.
this out.
Yep.
Does it have to summon
This is
the
going to
level
summon
five?
out and banish this
Banish. Okay.
since you targeted it.
Okay.
And then your Jackal Bone will be fizzles out.
Okay, so it negates the effects.
Okay.
So we're gonna activate the effects of Brutal
It's your
Dozer on
turn.
summon.
Yep.
Yep.
So we're going
Break it back,
to bring
effective
out
bounce.
the
Bounce
trencher.
back to.
To the deck. Well, to the hand, but
Ooh, I don't like that. Yep. Get it.
So we're going
how much
to
attack is this? 2,000?
overlay these
2000.
two.
Okay. And this was brought back by this, so it's not. It's
So
not.
we're gonna do
boosted.
River Stormer.
How much defense is that?
25 or 22. Sorry.
Effective River Stormer to add an Earth Machine.
We're going
Is that okay?
to enter battle.
Little
That's
stuff.
at 0.
That
Remember?
is at 0. Thank you.
I shouldn't have said anything.
We'll attack over that.
Add
So you'll take 15. No.
No, 500.
500. Thank you. Main
it's so
phase
annoying.
2.
It's really starting to feel the.
I've already used that.
So let's
Main phase 2,
do
we're going to switch token to defense.
Okay.
Link.
Then
To
I'm going
Goliath.
to set.
Effect of the River Stormer to tribute the Goliath and summon itself.
Okay.
And then effect of Goliath to attach itself to the River Stormer.
We're going to do faithful
Okay.
effect.
And then we'll go ahead and chain the
Good.
Derrick Crane to summon
Yep.
itself.
Okay.
I'm actually putting up a lot better of a fight than I thought I would.
And then I got to pitch off of that. Special.
Okay.
Shuffle this, and then I will pass each turn. I already used this turn, so I can't.
The fact that I can't use both Anger Knuckle effects in the same turn is really
No
starting to,
cut this time.
really screw up my plan.
Well, this could make or break me. Pot of extract.
I can't believe I'm about to do this. So we're going to banish the Trencher, targeting the Harvester.
I know it's weird, but I always shuffle because I usually
okay?
have them in order, and I will even let you pick
Summon
the
it.
6.
Effect targeting the. Oh, shoot, am I locked into Earth Machines? Yeah, I am. I can't actually do that. Alright. Do I have another
I am going to Griffin that.
12 that I can make?
So I don't get the draw.
Correct.
Man, I don't have anything to get over the
Not okay.
Gloomy.
That's not okay. That's
It's
not
also
okay.
Earth Machine.
Oh, and you got rid of everything. No cut.
So we'll go ahead and can I send from field.
Shit.
I guess we'll do the
ahead
effect
and pass.
sending
Okay,
the
on your
Harvester
end phase,
to summon the Anger Knuckle.
manage that. Set a golden land spell trap. Have anything off? Yes. Setting conk.
I can't out of 3,000
Concrete
grunts.
door.
All right, so we'll just.
If
pass
this
it.
was on, it would
As
have
long
been
as it's on the
9K.
field, it's a 0 attack. Right?
Yeah, I know. I'm very aware. I guess I'll just pass. I can't actually do anything.
Go.
Draw.
During main phase,
Sure.
I'm targeting my Doom King
Okay.
Normal.
Oh my gosh.
to
Reveal.
special summon him and banish until
How
end
many
phase.
banish do you have?
A lot.
Sure.
So
18,
reveal
right?
Banished until end
Oh.
phase. Special and face up attack.
him.
Is he an Omni negate?
He has to be chained off of a
We're
zombie.
targeting the Derek Crane.
Okay.
Yep.
However,
target?
you can, the only thing that I can chain off of is,
Okay, so I will chain the Anger Knuckle
or if you had
Okay.
any other
Sending the
zombies,
Derek
just because I don't have Zombie World up right
to
now.
summon
But he can only be used after off of a chain.
the Citadel.
I can only use one
Okay.
effect per chain, so I can either negate the effect of the monster, or I can
Okay.
banish one monster from
So
Doom.
I got
is it current
Dracoback
attack?
bounce.
Attack less than or equal. Okay, so he's
Okay,
at
how many?
If you do over
18
4,000, you win.
times
We're
4.
going into rain.
Yeah.
So
So
that's
he's at 72.
His other effect activates.
how many life am I
Yeah,
at?
you take this one.
Okay, we'll go to game 2.
You're at 65.
I did a lot better than I thought I would.
You did. You did. That was awesome.
Yeah, got rid of my Nightmare Phoenix,
Oof.
Unicorn,
I'm going
you
to.
get fucked.
All the good goods.
All the great things.
No,
Yeah, you're fine. Go ahead.
I don't either. I don't want to try it.
Are you going to battle phase?
Yeah.
That's
Battle phase.
it's all
Who are you hitting over?
destroyed. Then the bot have this card can activate.
This one. Ooh. Ooh, ooh,
I
ooh.
lost.
Yeah. This is gonna
Game
tax
one.
that.
That's been
Yeah, our game 1 was a lot faster.
Which
but
deals?
You still
You
put
said
up
it's
a
at
really good
72.
fight, so.
Know if I have
Yeah.
anything
Wait,
easy
hold on.
worth
Yeah,
adding.
72
Not really.
minus 15.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you would take
I just want to get my life
5,700.
cleaned up and
So I'm
running.
at
I want to
what?
run something different than zombies. Not that I
57.
don't love my zombies. It's just
Zombies is always fun back.
5700.
That's why I'm building Vendreads. Scary, but
You're
Oh,
at
so I'd be
800.
I could stand to
So
throw in some
this
Eldritch stuff in
one,
here too, but I
Yeah,
didn't
this
want to
one.
run.
I would
Eldritch because
attack
it's meta.
over for 500.
So
want
we
it to
left
be
at
different.
300.
Yeah.
Okay.
but now you're facing the stuff that you didn't add.
Some of it helps.
And quick effect.
You have a kiss. You have a-
Yeah, quick effect during that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Can with the Gizmet can't hit over the Citadel.
Yeah, you're right. But
So it's just a
I can still.
jerk on the field.
Yep.
Okay.
Here you go.
So he's-
Wait, how did he get in defense?
Oh, it was the effect of this guy. I can send a card from the field and summon a level 10 from the grave in defense, but its effects are negated.
Okay.
If its effects weren't negated, I would have wiped out the Dragoonian, but its effects are negated, so I can't do that.
Okay, here you go.
Can I go? Thanks, Deck. Oh my gosh, it's so
No, actually,
generous.
oh yeah, I got my lighter at home. The actual
Oh, this
Elvis.
is just
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I would never put them in.
Alright, let's see.
I think I did it once just for a show.
Think-
Yeah, I'm not gonna win any.
I think we go game 2.
Okay.
I need to make it home.
I mean, with
What was she playing?
I'll
oh,
bet it's Brexit for me.
Yeah.
with another Gizmac.
If
don't
I had a
think-
better draw, maybe.
Like, it wasn't like an archetype. It's
Good
just-
gracious. That
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the nice thing about it.
I am gonna go second.
1 con,
Alright,
chain link,
good
2
luck.
sync.
You too.
Wait.
This is going to resolve
2,
first. It's going to special summon
3,
the
4,
Eldritch
5.
from deck.
Okay.
That's good.
Yep.
And then it's going to pop this with
Sent to graveyard. Suck.
I'm gonna
Sometimes
D-shifter.
I'd like.
Oh,
And I'm
Okay,
gonna
okay.
pass.
Most of the time, I take in the ass.
Oh boy.
that's a terrible team. Well, we'll take it. So we will.
I can pull something out my butt.
Woo.
We'll summon effect.
So
How
you
exciting.
still might get the win.
Alright.
So we're gonna add the ink.
Samurai Skull.
Not because I need it.
Samurai Skull
because
effect. When normal summon.
Might as well get
Send
an
one
extra
zombie
card,
monster
you know
from
what
deck to
I'm
grave.
Yeah.
Chaining
saying? So I
rivalry
think I can kill you.
So I can only control one.
only controls zombies.
So we're gonna
Well, that's
tribute the
Which, I mean,
harvester.
It doesn't.
It will.
Yeah.
It's,
Summon brutal dozer. Effective brutal dozer.
there is no basically. I am playing zombies.
You are a zombie.
So let's
Where is she? Where is she?
Trencher,
Come on now. There she
can I
is.
kill you?
Send Necroworld.
I feel like I
Banish
should-
Can I see her?
Necroworld. Go ahead.
I feel like I should be able
Just
to.
know everything is sent to the graveyard is banished
I
instead.
know. That's kind of messing
Great.
everything
Toss.
out.
Oh, you got Dimensional Shifter.
Yeah, she shifted me.
That's fine.
Alright.
Yeah.
Play one Zombie World directly from deck.
Oh, well, that really gets
Man,
up the
I just
Infinite
was
Tracks too.
expecting a completely different outcome. So let's do overlay
Everything's a zombie.
Cool.
for
Everything is
River
awesome.
Stormer.
Okay.
We will detach. You know what? No, I want this one in the grave. We're gonna detach the other one. So I
Alright.
don't care if it gets banished. We're gonna
Discard
add-
Glow Up Bloom to activate Super Poly, targeting my Samurai Skull and your Eldritch.
Yeah.
Why? How does one?
Dragon Necro.
Yeah.
Because he was sent to graveyard. Banish.
Yeah.
To add, or to, well, main effect would be to
Wow, that's
add a
terrible.
level 4 or higher to hand. However, since there is a field playing spell, I can summon him.
We will add.
Summon Doom King.
Doom King.
You know what?
Good.
The line
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for, I can't even do.
do you, boo.
We're gonna do Bullet Train.
Then why are you doing that?
Who knows? I, for some reason, forgot my
We
own
just
deck.
do things, guys.
I forgot the
Okay.
restrictions of my own deck. Don't worry about it.
So we got 1-1.
No, I've lost. This is game 2.
Trying to think
Two.
what
Two.
would even do.
Fingers didn't want to work.
I feel like nothing.
Don't worry, you
Nothing
always
would
put
do
the
something.
middle one to be so I'm used to it.
That's right.
Swing with Doom King for 28.
Over this.
I mean, I think
Which
this
is
is like
18.
hurting you.
Yeah.
It is more than I thought it would.
Swing for 17.
17.
Let's see. We'll summon
Swing
him.
for 3,000.
3,000.
Main phase 2. I got nothing in here.
This is a monster indeed, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We will.
End phase.
On your end phase. Oh, I've used both of those.
We
This
will
turn.
go to battle.
Okay.
Hit for 25. He cannot declare an attack, so that's fun.
You want to
Okay.
either run to the gas station or somewhere around here and get me
Wait,
something,
no, that would
like
be me.
a snack or something.
You got what, 2 more? Go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying because I'm jittery.
Pass turn. Go ahead.
Just let me relax.
That's not
It's
bad.
We will go to game 3.
Game 3.
And we're still under shifter.
Yep. No.
Oh
Because
boy.
it's still the end of the next turn, right?
Yeah. So I said on my turn.
Kind of screwed myself.
Then
over.
your
I think
turn.
game
Back
3
to me.
Oh, so we're not under it anymore. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Storage is gone.
Reveal.
That's
Bigfoot.
fine. Go for it. I had a battle phase. Why did I think I went first?
I don't know. Guess
Alright.
you're so used to it.
Let's
Hold on. Let me-
Hit.
You lost. You decide.
Yep, I'll decide after I decide that.
Yep.
That's not a danger.
You got time while you do that. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real
Yeah,
quick.
you're fine.
Oh, that one's upside down. Okay, but that isn't.
Tied you over him.
Yep.
Sure. That's fine.
Reveal.
Sure.
I'm no, what do you do with the dangers? Just ended up copying you at the same time.
I'm just 0 for 3 hitting these dangers.
Dang.
You gonna be able to kill me? I'm at 8. Oh, that's right. You have the triple legal. I still don't think that kills me.
No, but it will do some damage.
That is true.
13.
I will do that. Right out. Use 2. Is that good?
Yeah, that's fine. Effect, he becomes 9k.
Yeah.
Can other things attack when he does that?
No. Just him.
What'd you do?
We're going in the game.
No, other things can attack.
They can.
Yeah, there's no restriction on attacking.
What?
5 minutes.
I've been playing this wrong the whole fucking time.
And yet you're still at table 1.
Okay, well.
Wait, what now?
She thought that when you activated number 100, other things could attack. Go ahead.
Alright, well, this is gonna.
So it's at 9.
Yeah, over that.
So I take 65. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
65. And then attack over that,
So I
so
take
8.
8.
Okay.
Or this goes to
For me.
Yeah.
I will pass.
Last turn. All right. Drop turn. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. So starting off, we're going to imperm him. Puts him back down to 0.
Okay.
And then we're going to cry about it. We're going to normal summon the anchor drill. Do I have another target in deck?
Skip him.
So we'll activate the effect of the anchor drill.
We're gonna pitch this to
We
search right.
will summon the brutal dozer.
Let's play right.
Brutal dozer.
Yeah.
Oh, I moved it.
I would have
Right.
had game if I had at least one more on field.
Puts Faithful Adventure to the
I
field.
get what you're saying. But also you're gonna die.
Am I?
Yeah, you're dead. So you're at 55, so it's
Yeah.
actually easier to kill you. So we're gonna go like this.
Searching Griffin.
If
Oh,
you
I don't
have
have
the-
it. I don't have it.
Pitching right.
I can't do that. I'm a
Griffin effect to
Liar.
search. Or to special limit.
I lied to you. Okay, so what can
Alright, trigger effect. Puts Draco
I
back
think
on
I can
field.
still kill you, but it's gonna be harder than I thought it was.
Good.
So we're going to anchor drill, targeting the brutal dozer.
Okay.
They both become their combined levels, so they're both level 9.
Yeah, great. Branded fusion here.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna overlay into Earth Slicer. So Earth Slicer's effect is I can detach any number of materials and target that many cards on the field, destroy them. Can either of these not be targeted?
This can't.
That can't be targeted.
Yeah.
Albion.
It's a bit of an issue.
Albion on
but
fusion
that should
summon.
be
Yep.
fine.
But you can get rid of that one.
I can, yeah.
You
I'm wondering if that's even
hollow
like.
pin yet?
Not yet.
Good.
No, I'm
My
working on
cousin
it.
has. He's
I'm
got.
wondering if that's even worth doing.
Oh shit. Oh
see.
shit.
We played dirty, bud.
So we're gonna.
That's. Oh, I forget all the things.
I can still kill you. So we're gonna do
Shit.
Blink 1 for Goliath.
I don't
We're
like
gonna
that.
do
Yeah.
Oh, just know
River
we have
Storm's
11
effect.
minutes.
I know. Tribute effect of Goliath to
Pass,
attach
draw?
itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Detach.
We got 2
to add,
negates on board.
add Derek Crane.
Shit,
I think summoning the Earth
Don't
Slicer
like
was a
that.
huge waste of my time
Don't like that at all.
because I'm just gonna
That's
use it for link
terrifying.
material. So
Okay.
we will
I'm going to discard
Link
Mezzakey
these
to
two.
activate Twin Twisters.
for
Thinking.
Anger Knuckle. We will
Yeah,
activate
good.
Anger Knuckle's effect
Negate it.
Yep.
to
Pitch that. Use one of your dice.
pitch a
He's at
monster to
4K.
summon a level 10 machine from my grave.
Okay. Okay.
We're going to summon Speedy Express Bullet Train. Effective Derek Crane. A level 10
discard
Inert machine was
Baldric
summoned, so I'm
to
going to summon it.
special Jacko Bolin.
Overlay.
So you're discarding its cost.
For
Correct.
Gustav.
We're gonna Griffin that.
Yeah.
Come on.
So
That would be
discard
game.
that does
Leave.
destroy.
Well,
With 8 minutes to spare.
Link to help somewhere. But that's also taken.
Good luck.
Good luck.
That's what they're figuring around. Come up the ban list.
Alright, so we're
People
going
are saying
to
they
summon
want
Harvester effect. Activate that.
Yeah, that's one of these.
And another Harvester for next turn.
No,
Actually, no. We're not going to add that. We're gonna add.
And the one with a crack your head.
Yeah, the other
Eggs,
guy.
6 ounce sirloin.
This guy.
Small portion of hash browns. They're apple or pear, like right, you know. It's a biscuit with that.
Redeployment. Check this guy. Citadel, Fortress.
Everything else is great, and that sits on me.
Eldritch thing, man. I love it.
We're gonna discard the Citadel to summon the Fortress.
There was a minute there I thought he was going to take the
So
match.
we're going to banish the Tunneler, targeting the box. These
There was a couple misplays I
three
did against him too.
There's a couple I've done against
This
him,
guy?
and actually somehow told go right on my ass. I'm like, oh crap, we're going here, dudes. Going to this one.
Yeah, when he said I could only bring Aqua, I thought, what was it? Rivalry of Warlords? I thought I could do Brian Hart and Superheroes. I forgot that they both not Aqua.
Yeah, because Rivalry Rewards, I think it's an attribute. You can only have one attribute as mine. He's like a monster you can have.
Yeah, I got you God Camera.
We're gonna do
I know the first round is where I got lost.
Anger Knuckles effect. Send a monster. So we're gonna send Metal Cruncher, targeting the Citadel to summon it back. Then pass turn.
So what I thought I could do.
Super Poly.
Okay,
I'm pitching that.
It's a nasty.
sure.
I have one of my schools, but I won't date it. It works a bit better. But
For
you just gotta get up to the 1-3 summon. Or like 2. Take them out. And then still go and get a full savage. Basically, got what they're actually
These two.
full savage, full
for
down.
Guru.
Oh, nice.
Sure.
So I thought he was like that.
Such an idiot. I forgot that. Speedy Express Bullet Train.
Lord Darkness.
Yeah, that's good.
Which I'm gonna that.
Sure.
Plus board, but this one is it's just a monster.
Special.
A monster.
Sure.
Trap princess.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I can count right.
Yep.
Special.
I actually switched it up.
Sure.
The
The whole thing.
Oh yeah. Normal.
Okay. So he's at, you have 14 here in the extra because you used
14 in the extra.
1, and then 8, so that's 22.
8 is 22. For this is at 22. 23 for him. So 23.
All right. 23 times 4 is 92.
Let me see. What was that?
92. Okay, so he's
30,
at he's
32,
at 22.
right?
Is that how much he's at?
22. 23 times 400. So he's at 92,000.
9,200.
He's at 22.
All right, so we're gonna.
Yeah, 9,200.
9,200.
It was
Sorry.
92,000.
9,200.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna activate Anger Knuckles effect. We're gonna pitch the Ash, target the Citadel, to summon it back. Actually,
Summon what
no,
back?
we're not doing that.
Summon what back?
No, we're not doing that. We're gonna target the bullet train to summon it back.
For a
It's just a special summon.
monster effect?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna summon it back.
Okay, then I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll take your card.
Okay. Then we will.
You guys in game 2, 3?
Yeah, I think you got it.
This would attack this, banishing it face down.
No, we're not quite there yet. Hold on. You target this targets my monster, right? Take control of one monster your opponent controls until the end phase. That doesn't do what I want it to, but it still is better than the alternative. So we're gonna do overdrive targeting him.
Okay.
So it summons a Machina from my graveyard and then destroys the target. Or summons a Machina from deck and then destroys it. The target. Is that okay?
Okay.
So we're gonna summon Metal Cruncher in defense.
Okay.
It's gonna get destroyed and then you can take one of my guys. Which guy would you like to take?
It has 28.
Attack.
What about him?
1500 attack. You can't change his battle position. But
Oh.
Yeah, you can't.
I will chain the Citadel and Grave since an Earth Machine was destroyed. I can summon it from the graveyard.
He wasn't destroyed though.
He was.
Oh.
Yeah, they're still going at it.
Okay, battle phase.
Summoning him back.
Okay.
Still in main
Turn around.
phase.
I said battle phase.
Continuing in main phase. I'm going to activate his effect targeting himself.
Okay.
It destroys him and all monsters with attack less than him.
Which
So
is
it's those 4, he stays.
these 4,
Yes.
less than 3,000.
Less than or equal to 3,000.
Did I bring him out this turn?
Yes, you did.
Alright. I'll
you can hit me.
attack over him.
And that does how much?
He was at 92.
92.
So that's 77. So I'm at 300.
Wait, hold on.
It counts your banish, not mine.
I know. Minus 15?
Yes.
77, yeah.
I have 2 losses. So I'm 0 tip.
Alright. Your go.
Alright. End phase, I'm going to activate Bullet Train to add a card back to my hand. I'm going to add the Harvester. Alright, drop a turn. I think we can do
Quick effect. Bring him out.
Okay, that's fine.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay. Alright, so we're going to activate Overdrive.
Yeah, still going?
Yeah,
Targeting
they were tied.
I should have brought a drink myself.
him
So you're
and,
still playing.
and him to shuffle back and draw one. Actually, no.
Turn. We're gonna shuffle. So she was turn 0. He's turn 1.
Is that okay?
Okay.
Shuffle and
And
draw.
then she'll get a turn, and then he'll get a turn. Unless one decks out.
I'm gonna cut so I can draw. Draw. Oh, that's a good draw. Okay, so we're going to normal summon Anger Knuckle effect, special summon Harvester, effective Harvester. Add Bulldozer.
Wait, how many?
So yours was turn 0, his was turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3 until someone runs out of.
So let's do Bulldozer, triggering the Harvester. No on summon effect. We will. Could do that. We're gonna use his effect targeting him. So they're both level 9. For
Cosmic is actually
Earth Slicer.
Um,
Effective Earth Slicer, I can detach any number of materials, target that many cards on the field, and destroy them. So I'm going to detach 2 and target those 2 to destroy them.
Officially gone down to zone 11.
So blink 1 for Goliath.
Wade was more towards
We'll use Earth Slicer, attributing the Goliath to summon itself back. Effective Goliath to attach itself. You're at what? 8?
Yeah.
We'll chain the Dare Crane. Just summon it. Summon itself. You're not locked in, so we're gonna go battle phase.
Yep.
28. 31.
31.
Yeah, he's 31 on the attack.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Is this the play? Yeah. We're going to. Can I stack him on top of? It has to be level 10, rank 10, right? Yeah, it has to be rank 10. I guess it matters. I'll do this card to attach itself.
Yeah, because
Zeus.
he gave me and him both
Go ahead.
those.
Your turn 2.
Yeah.
On
What?
your turn 2.
Yes.
Trade in.
I will. Is it discard the cost?
It's for cost.
Yep. Okay. Well, I will ash it.
That shall begin. Because I have nothing left.
Not necessarily. I can't coach you.
Oh yeah. Wait. Special.
Yeah, but those cards he bought for
Yep.
himself.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's fine.
Pass.
All right. No, turn.
His turn 3.
All right. We will switch Zeus to attack. Battle phase. We'll hit into the Gizmek with the Dare Crane.
And
Off the game.
that's game.
Oh, man. Game 3, I play against somebody who's playing one of those branded piles. It was branded. It was branded Predaplant, Danger, Tearlament. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. The deck seemed cool. Had a lot of interesting combos, but he didn't draw any of them. Game 1. I think I won the die roll, so I went first, and I set up my normal board, and he couldn't do anything about it. He set 1, set a monster, and then passed turn. On the crackback, I summon Earth Slicer, pop his back row and his set monster, and then Leeb OTK him. So game 2, he opts to go first. He summons Keeper of Dragon Magic. I imperm it. Then he activates Branded Fusion. I ash it. He has nothing at that point. He, I believe, activated I believe he activated a danger and I hit it. And it was one of the dangers that didn't do anything. It was like Bigfoot or Thunderbird, one of the ones that requires me to have stuff in order to get any of its discard effects. And the other 2 cards in his hand did nothing, so he passes over to me, and of course, all he has is the keeper. So I go into the lead line, and it doesn't kill him. I think it leaves him with, like... Or no, I don't go into the lead line. I basically just try and summon as many monsters as I can, but I can't quite push lethal. But, I mean, I drew off of the trap because I discarded it for redeployment, and then I drew off of Tunneler. So I just drew 3 cards from my deck. I mean, I Graceful Charity this dude. And I just had way too much going on. I had too much gas in the tank. He couldn't push through. He maybe could have come back depending on, you know, how he sequenced things and how I sequenced my things, but he didn't even bother wanting to try. He just conceded game 2, and that was that. And of course, the game that I recorded went into time. And so I didn't have time between rounds to record anything, but I also didn't have time between rounds to go to the bathroom. So game 4 is about to happen. I'm looking at the table next to me because I'm at table 2. Table 1 has 2 other people that are undefeated. I am currently 3-0 going into round 4. Whoever wins at table 1 is going to be my opponent in the finals. And I look over, and it's Adventure Branded Eldritch versus Danger TEARLAMENT. Now, I didn't realize it was TEARLAMENT at first. I wasn't paying attention to the other game. I was mostly paying attention to my game. And when I looked over, all I saw was the Eldritch cards on the one side. So I thought, man, I really hope the other guy wins because I don't want to have to play Adventure Eldritch. The Adventure cards are just something that I just don't want to have to deal with. And as they go into game 3, I realize the other guy's playing TEARLAMENT, the best deck in the format. And this guy clearly knows how the deck plays and can navigate the combos extremely efficiently. Their game 1, though, took 32 minutes. Game 2 went into time, and then they had to do game 3 in turns because of the way that the locals works. They don't do ties. So if you're tied at the end of time, you go 3 turns into time. And I did that round 2, and now they've done it round 3, which means the tournament is now close to 30 minutes over what it should be, and everything else is closing down. I realize I need to go to the bathroom, and they're about to go into time. I figure I have enough time to go to the bathroom. But because of the way that the locals is set up, their bathroom is a communal bathroom used by the bookstore, the blacksmith's place, the arcade, the t-shirt shop, and the bar. And they've now closed the door to the rest of the shops because technically the shops close at a certain hour, and that hour has now passed. They're keeping their shop open to continue the tournament, but everything else is closed, including the bathrooms. So going into round 4, I am undefeated. I also have to go to the bathroom really bad. So I heavily debated just leaving, just not even participating in round 4. I mean, I got a wife at home that I can come to, maybe watch an episode of a TV show before we go to bed. But I decided to see it through for the sake of the content, and here's how it went. So round 4 starts. The TEARLAMENT player won their round 3, so I'm playing the TEARLAMENT player. Of course, I get paired up in the finals versus the best deck in the room. That kind of, seems a foregone conclusion in in most cases. And so I believe I lose the die roll and he chooses to go first. So I look at my 5-card hand. It is Harvester, 3 cards that don't matter, and Nibiru. Can Tier play through Nibiru? Not if it's not playing the Toad engine, because this guy full combos me. He goes the 3-mat Tier fusion, Dragostapelia underneath a Nightmare Griffin. So the Nightmare Griffin is pointing to the Dragostapelia. He has the negate trap for Tearlament set, and I have no idea what the other set card is. He also controls the field spell. So he goes to end his turn. I go end of main, Nibiru. He goes, that's a card. And he has nothing. He ends on Nibiru token pass. I Leeb OTK him. I summon Smashers I go for a line I go for Smashers to destroy the token and one of his back row. He chains the negate to get rid of, to negate my Smashers. And then from that point on, I get to Leeb, and I attack over the token and pass. He goes to play his turn. I believe he normal summons the level 2 that mills 3 and mills 2 dangers in a super poly and can't play the game. So we go to game 2. Game 2, he makes me go first. I open Harvester plus a bunch of monsters that don't matter. I normal summon the Harvester, activate its effect, and he chains Havness, or whichever one is the one that is a hand trap that can activate in response to a monster effect. He uses it to summon whatever fusion it is that shuffles one. He summons that fusion, shuffles my Harvester back, and I add Brutal Dozer, and I didn't draw the Fortress, which means I pass turn. And I didn't draw a hand trap, so I have no interaction on his turn. He activates the field spell, and I go, you know what? Let's go to game 3. Game 1 lasted 22 minutes. Game 2 lasted 20 seconds. So I knew that if I let him go, he was just going to combo off. His game 1 versus the Eldritch lasted 32 minutes. This man can combo for days. His turn 1 in our first game of the match took like 12 minutes. So he can easily go into time, and he's heavily favored. I concede. I side to go second, make him go first. I side in 3 Mystic Mine. I side in 3 Dark Ruler No More, and I side out the Machina Trap and like a few inconsequential cards, like Called By, the second Derek Crane, and some other card. And I draw Mystic Mine, game 3. He ends on Dragostapelia, the 2-mat, or no, he ends on Dragostapelia, the Garura, the new Super Poly target, and a main deck tier monster in defense position. He has 2 back row that I have to be aware of. He goes for that. He passes turn. I top deck Urgent Schedule. It's at this point I tunnel in on my win condition. I have Mystic Mine, Super Bullet Train, and Urgent Schedule. So my plan is to Mystic Mine, hope he doesn't have back row removal to get rid of it. urgent schedule into some 4 lower and then Derek Crane, and then summon the guy and do Lieb. So that's what I do. I summon Harvester from deck and Derek Crane, and then I use the effect summon that doesn't start a chain of Super Bullet Train, summon it from hand, overlay for Gustav, burn for 2k, overlay for Lieb, detach to gain 2000, and he activates the Tearlament trap that negates its effects. At this point, I now understand the win condition. The win condition is deal enough damage to him that he can't deal more than that back to me. So I'm now sitting with a 4,000 attack Lieb, even if its effects are negated. Technically, we're under Mystic Mine, and we both have the same number of monsters at this point, now that he's removed the third monster, the random tier monster. So I would love nothing more than be able to get rid of the Infinitrack I have, but I can't. So I link it off into a Goliath just because having an attack position monster is better than not having an attack position monster. I don't know. So I go to battle phase and no, it wasn't the rewind. The other monster other than Dragostapelia was Abyss Dweller, not Garura. So he has Abyss Dweller, and he activated Abyss Dweller in the standby. If he had not, I would have had more to do because I had Citadel, I had Fortress, I had the level 10 lines if I wanted to do the Anger Knuckle play to try and revive a level 10. So I use Lieb, I attack over the Abyss Dweller doing 1800, and in combination with the 2k from Gustav Max, he's now down to 42. Now that I control more monsters than he does, I'm now locked under my own Mystic Mine, but that doesn't matter. I pass turn to him, he activates Mothman, and I hit it. So we both draw. I draw an Ash Blossom. That was his downfall. He should have activated the danger later, because the fact that he activated the danger first and gave me a draw, I was able to put the Citadel in the graveyard. And then on top of that, I was able to get an Ash Blossom. He normal summons Rhino Heart to send, and I Ash it. And at that point, he doesn't have anything else to do. The most he can do is attack over my Goliath with his Dragostapelia. And even if he uses a Dragostapelia to make it 0 attack, I think it makes it 0 attack. Even if he has a way to make it 0 attack, it still isn't 3,200. It's 27. So he can't bridge the gap, which means we beat Tearlament. Let's go. Not only did I win locals with Earth Machine, I beat Tearlament, and I did it all without Regulus, without any Therian cards. Yeah, seriously. I beat Gren Maju, some branded pile, and Tearlament, all with Earth Machine minus Regulus. This list is from over a year ago in terms of the main deck. If it wasn't for the fact that I was main decking the hand traps I was main decking, I would not have won the way I did. And if it wasn't for the fact that I sequenced the things I did in the way that I did, none of this would have been possible. I mean, shout out to Peeps Yu-Gi-Oh! That's all I gotta say. Aside from that, once the game was over, once everything was said and done, a lot of the guys there, a lot of the people there, are people that I've known for quite a while. We talked, we had fun, and we did a ton of trades. So I traded my secret first set of extravagance for a single copy of Forbidden Droplet. I mean, I still need 2 more, but I mean, this is incredible. I was also able to get a bunch of the Despia stuff from the tins. I got, well, I don't think this is from the tin, but I got Priskenian, I got Quertus, I got Aluber, I got Tragedy, and I got Dramaturge. I already had Comedy. I already have the structure deck stuff that I need. I'm at this point, all I'm looking for is the like non-structure deck spells and traps, like the branded opening, branded lost, branded retribution, stuff like that. And at that point, I will be able to effectively play branded. I could use 2 more Aluber, but I'm not gonna push my luck. The other thing I got was my buddy Tyler traded me his goddess that he pulled from a tin. That was pretty sick. And then I also traded for Titaniclad. I think in the near future I'm gonna try to pick up a Dogmatica core, and this is going to help immensely. Still got some stuff that I am looking to get rid of. Oh, the tournament had enough of a turnout that the tournament organizer decided that first place also won this mat. So on top of the fact that I won like 5 packs, which I pulled nothing from, by the way, I'll include the openings at some point in this video, I won the mat. It was this or the Joker mat. But, I mean, look at that. Look at how pretty that is. Look at how pretty it is. I'm definitely looking to get rid of it. It's like, I don't know. The only one that I could find that my wife could find on eBay when I was telling her about it was like $120 or something like that. That's a lot of cards. As much as I love these mats and as much as I'd love to just like hold on to it and maybe use it for a video, the cards, like $120 worth of cards, is worth more to me than this mat. I mean, there are other mats that I have that mean far more to me, and I'll be honest, I'm not really that big of a Live Twin or an Evil Twin fan, so doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, I mean, that was my tournament experience, taking Scuffed Earth Machine to locals and absolutely destroying people. I will say, Mind Control actually put in work against the branded Predaplant guy. He hold on. Throat's killing me. Against the branded Predaplant guy, he was able to get to a Mirror Jade through Fallen of Albaz fusing with my Lieb. And I looked at my hand. I opened Mind Control. So I mind controlled his Mirror Jade. And in response, he Mirror Jade banished his own Mirror Jade. So that ended up not mattering. But I will say, Peeps, a long time ago, the reason why I played the generic Link monsters that I played, the Barricade Borg and the Gaia. Let's see if I can make it focus. The the Barricade Borg and the Gaia. The reason why I played those was for the mind control and the what's it called? Change of Heart. But Nibiru ended up mattering because I actually had the Super Express Bullet Train in my hand while I had Nibiru going against the, I believe it was the TEARLAMENT guy. And the line that I ended up going down required me to summon the Brutal Dozer and then use it as link material, summon the Derricrane, and then link all three into Gaia. And from that point on, I was able to tribute it off for the Trencher, link the Trencher off for Goliath, and then banish the Trencher to bring somebody back and go into Anger Knuckle and use the Tunneler that I'd used at some point. Tunneler was in the graveyard for some reason. Put everything back and draw 2. And I ended up drawing into I think that was like turn 3, I think. So I ended up drawing into a Harvester or something like that for a normal summon. But the Anger Knuckle made it where I could bring back the what's it called? The Citadel that I had in the graveyard. Yeah, I'm just throwing all these things that were in the graveyard out there. I don't know. I'm really bad at remembering these things. But I had a Citadel in the graveyard for some reason. I think I used, or maybe the Derricrane wasn't what I summoned. Maybe it was Fortress. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm really proud of how I did. I think in terms of the fact that I was playing an extremely underpowered version of the deck, i.e. not playing the Therian stuff and focusing more on the Infinitrax and the Harvester and the Anchor Drill's ability to modulate levels. I mean, let me tell you something. Against the branded Predaplant guy in Game 2, the way that I blew him out Game 2 and was able to push for damage after he was unable to capitalize on his turn. The way I ended up beating him was what was I talking about? Oh, the way I beat him was I summoned the Harvester and then I summoned Machina Fortress. And in that exact moment, I realized 2 + 7 is 9. And the Fortress allowed me to go into, into Earth Slicer. And I cleared his board with Earth Slicer. But in the game against the branded guy, I summoned the Harvester and then chained Derricrane and Harvester target Derricrane, and then I overlaid hard made Zeus, and he couldn't play through it, man. I went to battle phase, and I think I attacked with something, and he activated an effect that summoned a monster, and I just Zeused it away. I just activated Zeus effect, and it was gone, and he had nothing else, and I attacked for game with Zeus, and it was incredible. I mean, I can't overstate just how good and how unbelievably consistent this deck is at making Zeus. Honestly, like, if you want, this deck can make a two activation Zeus, but you have to Gustav, not burn, and then Lieb and not activate Lieb's effect. That's a Xyz with 3 materials, attack with the Lieb, overlay for Zeus, that's 2 activations. Um, there is a scenario where you can normal summon the Anchor Drill, special summon the Ancient Gear box. Anchor Drill, target the box, make both a level 8, and you can make Dingirsu. I seriously considered playing Dingirsu, but I think pretty much every card in my extra deck. Let me take a look. Let's see. Let's go through them one by one. Gaia Saber, he came up. All 3 copies of Goliath come up. So all 3 copies of Goliath, that's important for the turn 1 combo. Lieb and Gustav obviously came up. I did make Dora going first one game. Enter Blathnir did not come up. Honestly, it's just in terms of the like banish from field, it's kind of a worse Earth Smashers because it only does 1, but it can loop from hand, which can be relevant. Probably cuttable, especially since it's a wind machine. You can't really make it if you go into the Brutal Dozer line. Anger Knuckle, insane. Zeus, insane. Ancient Gear Ballista is maybe cuttable in a modern context. I really like the fact that the box just represents an extra card. It gives you access to Trencher, which is an incredibly powerful grave resource. The only issue is that basically the Trencher represents an extra material to go into Anger Knuckle, but you could have just gone into Anger Knuckle anyway. The only thing that it does is really just makes you go +2, I think. Yeah, like +1 maybe. I don't know. But basically all it is just like a shuffle back fodder, because over the course of the combo you put 5 extra deck monsters in the grave that you shuffle all 5 of them back with Tunneler and draw 2. But besides that, Cleafort Genius never came up in this tournament, but I can see scenarios where he does come up. He's generic to machines, which is really important. I know that Ballista Squad requires Earth machines. I think Anger Knuckle just requires machines too. But in scenarios where you have to go for the next card, Barricade, you do want a card that doesn't require specifically Earth machines. This card is good in that regard. Speaking of Barricade Borg, I think this is probably the most cuttable out of all of them. Can you see that? He represents a way to get errant monsters off the field that aren't machines, like Nibiru, or cards that you've stolen with Change of Heart or Mind Control. And in that regard, he's really good. But if you use him if you use Brutal Dozer at any point during the turn, from that point on, you can't go into him because he's not Earth. Riverstormer and Earth Slicer, Riverstormer is insane. Don't get me wrong. The fact that this card can tribute a Goliath and then summon itself back, attach the Goliath, and then search, that came up multiple times. I seriously was like, why don't I play more than one of this? And then I remembered its graveyard effect. And I was like, oh, that's why you only run the one. But Earth Slicer, this card is an MVP. The fact is that there's so many ways to make it. There's Harvester, target Fortress. There's Anchor Drill, target any level 5 Infinitrack. And the fact that Heavy Forward, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, the fact that Heavy Forward, which these are German by the way, the fact that Heavy Forward can attach itself means that if you activate Heavy Forward over the course of your combo and you plan on going into Earth Slicer, he goes from a pop 2 to a pop 3. The only problem is that he targets, which means that I couldn't out things like Draglubian, which can't be targeted. But most things don't have target protection. they either have just, unaffected or can't be destroyed or stuff like that. If they can't be destroyed, then Earth Slicer isn't really that good, and maybe Interblathnir is a better rank 9 to go into. But again, if you've used Brutal Dozer over the course of the combo, which you probably have, Earth Slicer is the only one that you can go into. But the fact that he's 3,100 attack, can you see that? The fact that he's 3,100 is also just completely insane. Like, he's unreal. Let's see if there's any other. So the real MVPs of today were Mystic Mine, Nibiru, Earth Slicer, and Lieb. Yeah, I think for the most part, if it wasn't for those cards in particular, those cards kind of make the deck worth playing. I know that a lot of YouTubers, MBT and Farfa specifically, go on and on about how Earth Machine is just kind of like a deck that does nothing. But the fact is that Earth Machine is basically the final form of the version of the deck that was originally the whole rank 10 strategy. Like, you still have the ability to go into rank 10s extremely easily off of the back of cards like Anger Knuckle and the Machina Trap, Machina Overdrive, and consistent access to level 10s like Derek Crane, super speedy Bullet Train, and Citadel. The fact is that the card advantage that you gain is only as good as the cards that you have in deck to draw. So the fact is like cards like Ash and Imperm and Nibiru are, in their own right, extremely powerful cards and basically carry the strategy in terms of playability. Like, I wouldn't have beat Tier game 1 if I wasn't main decking Nibiru. And the fact is I main decked Nibiru with the understanding that I wasn't going to be running into Sprite and Tier, knowing that card wasn't really good against them. So when I saw it in my opening hand, I assumed that over the course of his Tier combo, he was going to do something that made my Nibiru useless. And he just never did. He had what was it? He had Curious and then an errant Tier monster, and he linked those two off for a link 4, and I was certain it was going to be Appaloosa and this Nibiru was going to be dead. And that was when he made Griffin, and I forgot that deck played Griffin. He sent the field spell off of Curious, and I should have known that he was going to summon Griffin. But normally in those decks they send Eradicator, and he didn't. So I didn't see that coming. I just assumed that there was some other effect that allowed him to get the field spell back, or maybe he was just deck thinning. I don't know why you deck thin the field spell. It's like the best card in the deck. But regardless, Griffin set the field spell, which is a little sus, but whatever. And I just nibbed him for his life savings, and it paid off big time. And then game 3, like game 2 I got blown out, but game 3 I won off the back of Mystic Mine. Like I wouldn't have been able to capitalize on it if I wasn't playing the deck that I was playing. Like game 1, I capitalized off of nibbing him by going into Lieb, which had enough attack to get over the token. And the Gustav burning him meant that, he was down quite a bit of life. And the fact is that, like, the hand traps that I was playing, like, yeah, I had Nib in my opening hand, but the fact that I drew into Ash off of his, what is it? Oh no, shoot. I remember how it went. He in in it he had only one card in hand, and he activated Danger Mothman, and when it discarded to add, he activated the field spell to add the Rhino Heart to his hand, and then when he summoned the Rhino Heart, I ashed it. So yeah, he kind of lost to himself, I feel like, to a certain extent. Because, if he had just, sequenced things differently and done the Rhino Heart first and then Mothman, I wouldn't have been able to ash the Rhino Heart. But because he Mothman first and drew me into the ash, I was able to ash his Rhino Heart. But, I mean, that's something for him to worry about. That's something for him to think about. For me, I am just extremely proud of the performance that I did. And, I could ramble on about, this, that, and the other thing about the tournament. But I think at this point, I'm going to call it for tonight in terms of, recording anything. And you know what? I'm going to do some test hands for a different deck and put Earth Machine to the side. Maybe we'll revisit it once I get access to the Therians. Maybe we'll try out the Earth Channeler, see if that's a good card in the deck. But that's down the road, way down the road. I don't want to. With the series only being every other week. Let's see what we pull. There's like a way that people can tell if their pack has an ulti in it just from the back, but I'm not smart enough for that. DD Assailant. Ooh, nice. Super Chalice. That's actually kind of good. More footage of the pup for your viewing pleasure. Look over here, Kissy. Hey, where you going? Hey, go here. Hello.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Zach at the stadium in Frankenmuth.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Skinny Penis.
Oh my word.
All right, here we go.